I am sure you guys noticed that last week we decided to kind of, hit the pause button for a minute as far as working on the truck, took a step back and reflected on some things. So what we want to do is we want to take some of those lessons we learned and incorporate them into other projects. So that's what we're going to do on this week's Tuesday Morning Tech Tip from Pugliese Speed Shop. The old garage. We had this place set up for a little while. I'll show you a little picture like up in this region here. But yeah, kind of gotten away from us a little bit. We always keep trying to straighten up, man. But somebody's always got some kind of project going on. So, what's the first thing that happens? All the stuff that's good for you gets pushed away and stuck in a corner so you can concentrate on those other vices you might have. Mine seem to be in this region right here. So, kind of hard to tell, but these are, can you tell it's winter? Some 6-lug stock wheels for the 65. They've got some brand new tires and some okay tires. So we collected those. This here is actually for the FXR. So we're going to move this out of the way. One-handed. Hope to not break it. And, yep. Nailed it. This is an auction find for the kid. Him and Jimbo have been working on. But they'll get to it. This here, all this here, is a whole bunch of parts, guys. A lot of classic performance products. That's how you know it's good. But this is almost everything I need for the 65. So I haven't been lying to you guys. I've been ordering stuff, a lot of stuff, some CJ Pony parts and whatnot. We're just waiting on a couple more things. And I almost forgot, behind Santa and Frosty over here, we got some bumpers for the 65. Not sure which ones I want to use. Smoking deal on these. Couldn't pass them up. It has recently been brought to my attention that I might have left these hang a little bit on the 65. You probably remember she sat in the back corner of the shop for a long while. And there was always a plan there, though. I'm not going to go through all of them because it dates back, I think, 9 years now. No, 9 years. Anyways, our most recent plan was our best and the one we've made the most progress on. But we had Howard come over, look at a bunch of stuff. He gave us some solid advice, did some assessing. We bought a whole bunch of parts, and then we met Joe, who's going to be doing the work, well, a lot of the work. Turns out not as much as I was hoping, but we'll get to that, all right? He came, looked at everything, said, yeah, I think you got everything you need, man, let's make it happen. And, well, she's been sitting for 2 years, so we got it running again. We got brakes in her again. We drove her over there to Joe's. And we're getting close to Joe's place. Hopefully, if we're doing this right, Megan's got some footage back there. And, man, I miss doing that, I'll tell you what. And he started getting after it. The last update I think I gave you was, he found out that the frame was bent. And that was, that sucked. That did suck. We were hoping we could fix it, but because it was bent like this and not like this, metal has a memory, and, well, that memory is a Honda Odyssey smashing that thing because that son of a... Never mind.
So how does the Kia compare to the Honda Odyssey?
The Odyssey? That's a great question. It doesn't suck.
All right, so we got a new frame, which then I said I'm not going to put a bunch of new parts. I'm not going to put a bunch of old parts on a new frame. I mean, it's still the same age frame, but all refurbished. So decided I'm going to do everything I've always wanted to do to that truck. So we have lowering springs and tube front end, tube rear trailing arms, a drop cross member for all the suspension, and guys, I can't remember half the stuff I bought. I just know I bought everything I needed to lower that thing down and get her handling right. Front and rear sway bars, I mean everything, right? That's what I just showed you guys. In doing all that, I realized that the giant 31-inch tires are not going to fit in the wheel wells anymore. And those things are beat up, and one of the rims are bent. And I really was never too crazy about the ones in that truck anyways. They were just there when I bought it and looked clean. So that's why we bought the wheels I showed you up there. Now, I don't know if I'm going to run those all the time because I had some other ideas. But just in case, I just found these guys right here. And I think we're going to grab those because they are pretty sweet. And I think it'll fit nicely on everything. Well, it came on just one model newer C10. So we should be fine. I haven't bought everything. You guys probably understand this stuff costs a little bit of money, and I'm trying to put some other vehicles together at the same time. So there's some budgeting involved. All right. So there's two key things we're waiting on for this truck. One is brakes. I don't have brakes for it. I don't want to put the drum brakes back on. I want four-wheel disc. Do I need four-wheel disc? Absolutely not. But I want it. I've wanted them since I bought the truck. There's no reason for me to just slap this in together after 9 years of it sitting around. Let's get it done the right way, so I'm not wanting to change things like I already want to do a little bit on the OBS. So we're taking our time. I'm about to order those, and you'll see a video coming up of us going to get the last piece we need to get the body right. However, Joe can't get started on the body until we have a straight frame because he's got to build off of something, right? Now, I kind of told myself a bad story. I was hoping, you guys know I don't like other people working on my stuff. It's a pride thing, it's an ego thing, it's a cheap thing. Whatever excuse you want to put on it, they're all probably true, okay? So, however, I learned a long time ago, my buddy Cesar Cisnato told me this. We were on the Tarawa together 100 years ago in the Navy, and I thought the guy knew everything. And he said he couldn't do one thing, he had to have somebody else do it. I feel we've been working on, but I just remember him telling me, I said, I thought you could do anything. And he said, the secret to being good is knowing your limits. I've kept that with me since like 1996, man. And I'm glad I have. Because the truck turned out to be worse than I thought. I knew I didn't want to reskin all that stuff. I don't trust any of my welding or metal skills to that extent of what needed to be done. And for good reason. It was totaled. I mean, at the end of the day, right? So we're taking a couple different trucks and making one good one. And that's kind of what, kind of a historian in that way, because they live on, right? They live on. You give a little piece so another one lives on. That's how this kind of goes. So see, we got the frame outside. It needs a little bit of work, and then I'll paint and do all that stuff and get all those parts put on it. But it's going to take this whole region here, and I don't want to lose this whole spot when I don't have all the parts yet. So that's why we haven't been doing it. I know old Wade is going nuts because I had not been doing that, but that's why I haven't. So what I really thought, and this is probably naive of me, it definitely is. When Joe came and looked at it, we've been saying since the day it happened, I know I was looking at it. I thought the frame might have been bent, but I didn't want to admit it. My buddy Jason kept telling me, dude, it's clearly bent. And I'm like, maybe. He was right, and I knew it deep down that it was. But we're past that. I was really hoping that they could straighten it. And I knew it, that would have been great if they could have just done that. And I really thought I was going to stroke a check and then drive the truck over there and pick it up a month later, and life was going to be great. And then I could do all this stuff, how I'm doing on the OBS, little by little, work on it, and get it done over time. That wasn't in the cards, and, I'm glad. Now I get to do a big build and do it the right way. You know what I mean? Like, put all the suspension on when it's just a bare frame, so I know it's going to come out perfect and look great and all that. So at the end of the day, it's going to be worth it, but getting there is tough, right? A lot of setbacks. I said there was a lot of different things I did. I went out and bought basically another whole truck, all the sheet metal for another truck. I drove to the south end of North Carolina, bought all this stuff, got it home, and I was ignorant to the fact that it was all GMC stuff, which is really close, but the dash is different, and a couple other things, and I didn't want to do that. I ended up selling that. I made a couple dollars, so that was cool, but whatever. Then I bought the green truck. I was going to use a parts truck. Turns out that was in better shape than I thought. And I bought it for the frame, ironically. And then when Howard came and looked at it, he said, the frame seems good, and if not, we can tweak it back. So I offed the truck. And then I had to go buy a frame. But it's cool because that's how we got the Suburban, and that's the whole thing. So we were able to save that thing. Eric's enjoying it. Again, no regrets. I looked at frame swapping onto something fuel injected, like a Tahoe. There was a whole, I went down that road from it. Guys, there was so many different ways I looked at doing this truck. And this was my only vehicle for a couple of years. So I loved driving it. I know the kid was like, he found it for me, and he was pretty upset when it got hit. But, we both were, But we had to move on. And it seems like every time I'm, what's that? What's that song? Country song. One step forward, two steps back is kind of what's been happening for the last 9 years. And I thought I was ahead of it all, and I'm like, all right, cool. And I found that one last piece, and I was like, we got it. And I was supposed to be there right now picking it up. But dude hit me up last minute, said, hey, can't make it. He had a new job or something, and I get it. But I just felt like another door was closed in my face, man. And I was like, God, I'm never going to get this thing done, I have all this time invested, now quite a bit of money in parts, guys. And I'm like, man, I should have just scrapped it and bought another one. And I don't think I've ever said that out loud, but I know when it's all said and done, I'm super glad I didn't. Like I said, the kid found the truck. It was really cool how that all happened. We went and picked it up. We got stories of this thing for years. So that's where that's where hot rod will screw you guys, because it gets you, it gets you in the feels a little bit, and it costs you money, man. Because I could have probably bought 2 or 3 of them trucks in somewhat similar condition to what it's in, for what I got into this thing in parts right now. Man, that sucks. But I'm still ahead of the game for when it gets all done. It's going to be fine. It's going to be fine, guys. Somebody keeps telling me that. It's going to be fine. So I guess what I'm saying is we just got to keep pushing forward. Because at this point, and Joe even asked me the last time I was at his place, and he showed me that the frame was tweaked. And he's like, hey, man, if you want, charge you for my little bit of labor I got in this thing, and we'll just abort. And I said, nah, I've been waiting this long. We've come this far. What am I going to do with all this stuff anyways? And let's just move forward. So this is just another hurdle. I've actually been back in contact with the guy. We're hoping to head up there on Sunday if the sky doesn't open up with snow, so we'll see what happens there. If it does, I guess we'll go next weekend. I mean, what are you going to do, But just want to give you guys the heads up. That's where we're at. We haven't forgotten about it. We're in contact with Joe pretty constantly of trying to find this, cab parts and other things that we do need that we just overlooked and they don't repop, and it's just part of it. So stay tuned, guys. There's more coming. It's just a matter of when the stars align. So if you guys are dealing with this kind of thing, don't let it get to you. You know, just remember what that thing means to you and the memories you had and all that, and it'll help you get through. Thanks for watching, guys.